Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu wa bismillahir rahmanir rahim. The next very important topic regarding prayer is making the intention, niyat. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that innamal a'malu bin niyat. All actions are accepted only based on their intentions. Therefore, making the intention is an extremely essential matter. How we do this is by forming the intention within our hearts. For instance, if I am going to perform a prayer, I make the intention within my heart that I am performing this obligatory duty purely for the sake of Allah. Uttering this intention with the tongue is a sunnah. Therefore, prayers performed without an intention will not be accepted. Not only prayers, but none of our good deeds will be accepted without it. So, whenever we perform an action intending in our hearts that we are doing it solely for the sake of Allah is deeply important. Truly, dear brothers and sisters, look, making an intention is not a difficult task at all. Yet, after making an intention, even in situation where we are unable to carry out the deed, Allah Almighty has promised to grant us the rewards. For example, I made the intention to go for Hajj. However, I didn't receive the opportunity to do so and passed away. Even then, Allah Almighty will resurrect that person among the ranks of Hajj. Why? Because a simple intention brings about such massive transformations in a person's life. Therefore, we must never be stingy when it comes to making intention. So, making the intention for prayers, for fasting, for noble purposes, and holding the intention in our heart before every action, saying, I am doing this for Allah, ensures that Allah Almighty continuously showers us with its reward. Next, you can see the step-by-step method of prayer. Around 5 photos have been provided, right? First, they are going to tie the takbir al-ihram, saying Allahu Akbar while in a state of wudu. After that, having tied the hands, they recite Surah Al-Fatiha. After that, they go into ruku and saying Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Next, they go into sujood and say Subhana Rabbiyal La'la. Finally, they come to the tashahhud, at-tahiyat. So the physical movements of prayer follow this very structure. Therefore, when we observe the sunnahs and farul elements embedded in each of these actions, our prayers attain completeness. When you look at those pictures, it is clearly explained how the hands should be raised, how the ruku must be performed, and exact posture one should maintain during sujood. Bowing only slightly during ruku or going into sujood in an odd way as if going to sleep, these are improper aspects in the methodology of prayer. We must perform the ruku properly and fully. Look at how it has been described. When you see the photo, you will understand. When you perform ruku and sujood precisely as instructed, your prayer becomes complete and fulfilled. At times, even if there are minor deficiencies in prayer, rewards may still be granted, but only when it is complete and fulfilled do we truly attain the love of Allah and gain all the anticipated blessings of that prayer. Next is at-tahiyat, tashahhud. This is what we recite during the sitting posture, both in the middle sitting and the final sitting. Surah Al-Fatiha and at-tahiyat are among the most essential obligatory elements of prayer. We cannot afford to miss them even by mistake. Therefore, we must memorize the At-Tahiyat completely. We should strive to recite the entire Tashahhud. At-Tahiyat al-Mubarakatu salawatu tayyibatu lillahi assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu all the way to Innaka Hamidun Majid. At the very last, we must have it memorized up to Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad. If the prayer is to be complete, memorizing At-Tahiyat and Surah Al-Fatiha is an absolute necessity. In our lesson on prayer, the next vital prayer is the Friday Jummah prayer. The prayer performed once a week. The Prophet ﷺ did not grant permission to anyone to abandon the Jummah prayer except for a few specific individuals for whom concessions were provided. Jummah prayer is one of the most significant symbols of Islam. Every week, Muslims gather in large numbers to establish this prayer and listen to khutbah. Quran states that Iza Nudiya lis-salati min yawmul Jum'ah, when the caller to prayer is made on Friday, fasawa ila zikrillah, hasten to the remembrance of Allah. During that time, Islam strictly prohibits engaging in buying, selling, or other worldly occupations. So, Prophet ﷺ mentioned that whoever performs a ritual bath on Friday, cleanses themselves, applies perfume, arrives at the mosque early, sits closer to Imam and listens attentively to the khutbah, Allah Almighty forgives all their sins committed between the previous Friday and this Friday. Therefore, we must spend the day of Jummah joyfully, treating it like a day of Eid, taking a bath early in the morning, applying pleasant fragrance and then reciting Surah Al-Kahf, sending abundant salawat upon our beloved Prophet ﷺ and heading early to the mosque to listen to the Imam's khutbah are all essential. Moreover, we must completely refrain from idle talk in the mosque, engaging in trade, or indulging in playful distraction during that time. Prophet ﷺ even prohibited casually playing with small pebbles during the khutbah, as doing so diminishes the reward of Jummah. Hence, we must be very mindful of this. Next is the Eid prayer. Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Fitr marks the completion of fasting, and Eid al-Adha is the festival of sacrifice or Hajj. After Muslims observe fasting for a whole month, Allah Almighty has designated the day as a celebration for them. Islam has never forbidden fasting on these Eid days. It is a day taught us by Islam to eat, drink, rejoice, and share love with the poor and needy. Regarding Eid al-Fitr, after completing the 2 rakahs of prayer, we listen to a khutbah. Similarly, sermons are delivered on Eid al-Adha as well. Before heading out for the Eid al-Fitr prayer, we must fulfill the noble obligation of Zakat al-Fitr. Many poor people struggle without food even on the day of Eid. Islam never tells us to celebrate in isolation while ignoring others. So, Prophet ﷺ instructed us to bring happiness to others as well. Explaining the purpose of Zakat al-Fitr, Prophet ﷺ stated as Tuhratun lis-sa'ami wa tu'amatan lil-masakin. It serves as a purification for the fasting person from small shortcomings committed during Ramadan, and as for the food for the poor on the day of Eid. Eid al-Adha, on the other hand, is a slightly different celebration where abundant takbirat are recited. On this day, after completing the Eid prayer, we perform Qurbani, sacrificing livestock for the sake of Allah, as the Quran teaches us. Inna atoina kal kausar fasalli li rabbika wanhar. So pray to your Lord and sacrifice. Fasting is strictly prohibited on both these days. Eid al-Adha commemorates the tremendous sacrifice made by Prophet Ibrahim a.s. and his family. We must never neglect these prayers. Today, there are people in our community who miss even these prayers. We must pay heed to these, preserve family ties, bring joy to our parents, treat our children with affection, wear the best clothes we have, and help others. These are vital sunnah for these days. Beyond Jummah and Eid prayers, let us briefly look at other voluntary prayers as Sunnah prayers as Taraweeh prayer, the extended night prayer performed during the nights of Ramadan, Salatul Khusuf, the prayer performed during an solar eclipse and lunar eclipse, Salatul Istisqa, when there is a drought under the direction of the leader or Imam, people gather in an open area to pray specifically for rain, Salatul Tawbah, the prayer offered seeking forgiveness from Allah after committing a sin with a resolve to reform, Salatul Hajjah, the prayer offered when we have a specific need to be fulfilled by Allah. So through these Sunnah and Nafil prayers, we can draw closer to Allah. This is the very guidance left to us by the Sahabas and the Prophet. Rather than dismissing them as just Sunnah, when we give importance to voluntary prayers, pre-post prayer, Sunnah prayer, and daily awrad, just as we do for the obligatory prayers, Allah Almighty will grant us peace, happiness, and ultimate success in both worlds. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.